2009. A Tangled Tale by Lewis Carroll. Chapter 13. Answers to Knot 3. Problem. 1. Two travelers, starting at the same time, went opposite ways round a circular railway. Trains start each way every 15 minutes, the easterly ones going round in 3 hours, the westerly in 2. How many trains did each meet on the way, not counting trains met at the terminus itself? 2. They went round as before, each traveller counting as 1 the train containing the other traveller. How many did each meet? Answers: 1. 19. 2. The easterly traveller met 12, the other 8. The trains one way took 180 minutes, the other way 120. Let us take the least common multiple, 360, and divide the railway into 360 units. Then one set of trains went at the rate of 2 units a minute and at intervals of 30 units, the other at the rate of 3 units a minute and at intervals of 45 units. An easterly train starting has 45 units between it and the first train it will meet. It does 2/5 of this, while the other does 3/5, and thus meets it at the end of 18 units, and so all the way round. A westerly train starting has 30 units between it and the first train it will meet. It does 3/5 of this, while the other does 2/5, and thus meets it at the end of 18 units, and so all the way round. Hence, if the railway be divided by 19 posts into 20 parts, each containing 18 units, trains meet at every post, and, in 1, each traveller passes 19 posts in going round, and so meets 19 trains. But, in 2, the easterly traveller only begins to count after traversing 2/5 of the journey, that is, on reaching the 8th post, and so counts 12 posts. Similarly, the other counts 8. They meet at the end of 2/5 of 3 hours, or 3/5 of 2 hours, that is, 72 minutes. 45 answers have been received. Of these, 12 are beyond the reach of discussion, as they give no working. I can but enumerate their names: Ardmore, E.A., F.A.D., L.D., Mathematics, M.E.T., Poo-Poo, and the Red Queen are all wrong. Beta and Rowena have got 1 right and 2 wrong. Cheeky Bob and Niram give the right answers, but it may perhaps make the one less cheeky and induce the other to take a less inverted view of things, to be informed that, if this had been a competition for a prize, they would have got no marks. Nota bene, I have not ventured to put E.A.'s name in full, as she only gave it provisionally in case her answer should prove right. Of the 33 answers for which the working is given, 10 are wrong, 11 half wrong and half right, 3 right, except that they cherish the delusion that it was Clara who travelled in the easterly train, a point which the data do not enable us to settle, and 9 wholly right. The 10 wrong answers are from Bo Peep, Financier, IWT, Kate B., MAH, QYZ, Seagull, Thistledown, Tom Quad, and an unsigned one. Bo Peep rightly says that the easterly traveller met all trains which started during the 3 hours of her trip, as well as all which started during the previous 2 hours, that is, all which started at the commencements of 20 periods of 15 minutes each, and she is right in striking out the one she met at the moment of starting, but wrong in striking out the last train, for she did not meet this at the terminus, but 15 minutes before she got there. She makes the same mistake in 2. Financier thinks that any train met for the second time is not to be counted. IWT finds, by a process which is not stated, that the travelers met at the end of 71 minutes and 26½ seconds. Kate B thinks the trains which are met on starting and on arriving are never to be counted, even when met elsewhere. QYZ tries a rather complex algebraical solution and succeeds in finding the time of meeting correctly. All else is wrong. Seagull seems to think that, in 1, the easterly train stood still for 3 hours, and says that, in 2, the travelers met at the end of 71 minutes 40 seconds. Thistledown nobly confesses to having tried no calculation, but merely having drawn a picture of the railway and counted the trains. In 1 she counts wrong, in 2 she makes them meet in 75 minutes. Tom Quad omits 1. In 2 he makes Clara count the train she met on her arrival. The unsigned one is also unintelligible. It states that the travelers go 1/24th more than the total distance to be traversed. The Clara theory, already referred to, is adopted by 5 of these, that is, Bo Peep, Financier, Kate B., Tom Quad, and the nameless writer. The 11 half-right answers are from Bog Oak, Bridget, Castor, Cheshire Cat, G.E.B., Guy, Mary, M.A.H., Old Maid, R.W., and Vendredi. All these adopt the Clara theory. Castor omits 1. Vendredi gets 1 right, but in 2 makes the same mistake as Bo Peep. I notice in your solution a marvelous proportion sum. 300 miles to 2 hours, proportional to 1 mile to 24 seconds. May I venture to advise your acquiring as soon as possible an utter disbelief in the possibility of a ratio existing between miles and hours? Do not be disheartened by your 2 friends' sarcastic remarks on your roundabout ways. Their short method of adding 12 and 8 has the slight disadvantage of bringing the answer wrong. Even a roundabout method is better than that. MAH in 2 makes the travelers count 1 after they met, not when they met. Cheshire Cat and Old Maid get 20 as answer for 1, by forgetting to strike out the train met on arrival. The others all get 18 in various ways. Bog Oak, Guy, and R.W. divide the trains which the westerly traveller has to meet into 2 sets, that is, those already on the line, which they rightly make 11, and those which started during her 2 hours' journey, exclusive of train met on arrival, which they wrongly make 7, and they make a similar mistake with the easterly train. Bridget, rightly, says that the westerly traveller met a train every 6 minutes for 2 hours, but wrongly makes the number 20. It should be 21. G.E.B. adopts Bo Peep's method, but wrongly strikes out, for the easterly traveller, the train which started at the commencement of the previous 2 hours. Mary thinks a train met on arrival must not be counted, even when met on a previous occasion. The 3 who are wholly right, but for the unfortunate Clara theory, are F. Lee, G.S.C., and X.A.B. And now descend, ye classic 10, who have solved the whole problem. Your names are Aix-les-Bains, Algernon-Bray, thanks for a friendly remark, which comes with a heart warmth that not even the Atlantic could chill. Arvon, Bradshaw of the Future, Fifi, HLR, JLO, Omega, SSG, and Waiting for the Train. Several of these have put Clara provisionally into the easterly train, but they seem to have understood that the data do not decide that point. Class list. First, Aix-les-Bains, Algernon-Bray, Bradshaw of the Future, Fifi, HLR, Omega, SSG, Waiting for the Train. Second, Arvan, JLO. Third, F. Lee, GSC, XAB. End of chapter 13.